Welcome to the show. Today we are going to do some research and I think it's going to be awesome. Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth presents Why Do People Think Twin Flames Are Evil? I thought this was such a great, juicy question because, well, I don't know about you, but I for sure have experience with people coming at me, letting me know, like, Petra, did you know that twin flames are really evil? Yeah, I mean, it just comes out of the kindness of my heart to let you know, Petra, that you should not dabble in that direction. You better stop it because twin flames are evil or twin flames are of the devil. And I don't know about you, but at least I have spotted on the internet, on YouTube, channels that are dedicated completely to the fact that twin flames are evil, or twin flames are of the devil, or twin flames are a cult, and a cult is bad, it's negative, it's like as if you're saying that you're a mass murderer or something even worse. And these whole channels are dedicated to that and to figuring out for you how bad it really is, so that you will be enlightened and never go in that direction ever again. So, yeah, I don't know, and that makes me laugh. I'm laughing now. I think that's the only sort of reaction that that is like healthy to give, I guess. It's a little bit as if you're saying human beings have a soul, and that is a crime. I mean, it's something like that, right? What a crime it is to be alive, isn't it? Well, nevertheless, well, we resolved it already. There you go. But nevertheless, we are going to do some research today about it with oracle cards that I have pre-selected here next to me on the table and pre-shuffled them. We will shuffle them a little bit more live and see why exactly people say that and what does it mean. And maybe also a little bit of how to stay away from that, how to prevent yourself from falling in that trap. That right now you're feeling okay with the topic of twin flames, but maybe one day in the future you think to yourself, oh, maybe these people are right. And your mind just wanders off into some sort of a cave where it's really dark and you see everything turning around before your mind's eye, and you start to interpret everything now with a black veil on top of it, which actually can happen pretty much on the normally healthily lived twin flame journey at some times, because the twin flame journey does indeed mean that you look your dark caves in your own psyche into the eye. So maybe that's also a solution for what that really is. Let's talk about that more. As a teacher, I stand for and do the work of Divine Mother on earth, being her priestess of union. This makes it possible to provide you with a relationship in which you can safely find your true union and develop and sustain your union consciousness. And today on the show, we have Why Do People Think Twin Flames Are Evil? And let me for a moment explain why we have the possibility to become a paid Patreon member on this and all live shows. You can listen to it and enjoy, and that's fine. But if you want the content of these shows to spiritually work healing on your union, You invest in the messages. And that's how you support your union healing. Money unlocks it. And if you'd like to invest some in your journey, there is indeed always, at this moment, specifically the possibility to come to a strategy session to discuss together how you can invest even some more. And I can help you go there with guaranteed results. And this strategy session is accessible via the link that is in the description box below or in the pinned comment. Let's start without further ado. I think, yeah, we're going to start with the classical tarot in the form of the golden tarot. They have beautiful medieval images because I want to ask, with the help of Divine Mother, can you show me like maybe 3 cards or so in which we can see what is the psychology or the blocked psychology, the blocked psyche, the spiritual block with inside of that also a part of psychology of people that believe that twin flames are evil or of the devil, etc. Because did you know that twin flames is human beings? So if you say that twin flames are evil or of the devil, then you are saying that human beings are evil. Well, this one is moving, so let's take that as number 1. Well, this one is number 2, and this one is number 3. All right. So I picked them. So the first card is the 9 of Wands. And here you see this man putting up all the sticks, the wands that stand for fire and mission and sexuality and life force energy. And he's sticking them all in a pattern that forms a wall. And it's normal to have walls. That means that in your psychology, you need boundaries. Just a normal, functioning, healthy mind. And he's almost done doing that. And then he can heal better because his psychology will be ordered. Let's have a look. Let's not say a lot more about that, but just let's have a look at the other ones. The star reversed. The star stands for a lot of healing that is needed. And reversed actually sort of as well. And there's a lot of alchemy that could happen from one jug and the other. And then in the classical tarot, you also see them pour from one to the other, which gives sort of an horizontal 8 figure, which is the eternity figure. In reverse, well, let's keep it a little bit at healing. I'm going to judge the 3 cards together in a moment. And the high priestess in reversed, which means secrets, because she really is standing for figuratively and physically standing right in front of the whole temple is behind her. That means the higher knowledge, the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of twin flames, the sacred knowledge of who you truly are, which is a twin flame. And she stands for that. And when she's reversed, I would say she still stands for that, but then it's like hidden and it's like secret or you can't access it. So I think we're seeing now with the 3 cards that Divine Mother gave me to look into the psychology and the spirituality of people that say that twin flames are evil or of the devil. I think we're seeing that they don't have the open connection to their inner beingness. They lack the inner sacred connection to who they truly are. There's a lot of healing that is needed for them so that it becomes available, so that they will know that they are a twin flame, because that's just the deeper nature of what you truly are. You can't help that. You already are it. That's the same when you would say, like, but because I talk a lot about Divine Mother that helps us now doing the reading and whatnot, and Divine Mother is a form of representing God, right? So we talk about God, and then people maybe would be like, "But do you need to believe in God for your twin flame union to come together?" Well, no, because it doesn't matter how you call it. When we talk about your true twin flame, there's always this deeper element of the source of everything, or the universe of all, or I don't know, it doesn't matter what you call it. There's always that divine element because we're talking about the true twin flame. They're not possible without God. So you can say, well, I don't believe in God. So, that part of the story is just out of the question for me. Well, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. But when we talk about the true twin flame, it's always there as a force that is present nevertheless. So it doesn't matter if you say with your voice and your understanding that you don't believe in God. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of cognition, all right. But the twin flame is an organic truth in what you are, and you cannot be anything else than what you are. And there's a divine core in that. That's just the architecture of life. You can't deny that. Well, you just basically commit suicide, maybe on a spiritual level, which is what you essentially are. Well, that's a little bit what the High Priestess Reverse Tarot card tells us, right? These people, they think that twin flames are evil or of the devil. They have committed spiritual suicide, but they're unaware of that. Because here's the thing, I actually was like reintroduced recently of how people think, and that this is like a thing for people, that it's like, ooh, it's so spooky, you better not go there, that's of the devil. Didn't you know that, Petra? I was reintroduced to that sort of discussion recently when I heard that said by someone that was very much of God, thinking of themselves that they were believing in God. And then, like in a Christian way, and then, like in a way that's, according to them, says that twin flames are not right. So, then you get this whole construction of like, yeah, but he believes in God, so he must be right. But if you don't have a living connection with the divine in the now, your belief in God can contain many cultural things that can be so correct according to this or that intellectual tradition, but you still don't have the actual alive reality of God in your life now, in the now. And you're still confused about what you truly are, and you're still confused about twin flames. Um, Twin flames are actually the new chapter of Christianity and of every major religion or thinking system, philosophy of life. They are the next chapter of all of them. And there are Christ masters right now on earth that bring that teaching of what harmonious twin flame union is to you so that you can have it too. Which means they are soul family with Jesus the Christ, that is so famous and that people talk about when they are Christians and whatnot. But that is not integrated yet into the official teaching, how it is openly taught in churches of Christianity right now. I understand that. So, in a sense, it is also logical that these people must think that twin flames are not of God because they're not of their understanding of their own religion, while their own religion actually points to the timeless truth that has gone to a new leading edge of development right now, in that we are now in a chapter of harmonious twin flame union. And that then still fits with the rest of the teaching, but you will understand that teaching differently now. And a different understanding of the same intellectual tradition of what the teaching should be, let's say, of this Christianity idea, sounds different to such a person. They will not recognize it. They will say that it is wrong. So that's what I was told, that it was super wrong. But I am in the new chapter of Christianity with harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, and I bring that to you. And with that fully in bloom inside of me, because I am in that consciousness state together with my twin flame, I can also still use the teachings of Christianity and see how they're meant to be read in the light of twin flames. That is possible for me. But that will not be understood by someone that has the more rigid old ideas and hasn't gone through this enlightenment of the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union as of yet, so that he can reinterpret the same religious language in this new way. So this guy told me that, what I do on my channel is wrong and stuff. And that, renewed the interest of me in this question. So that's a little bit why we do it now. But it has many forms, and I've seen it over the years. So, what that is concerned, I think it's a little bit universal, and you must have your own experiences with people that say things in that direction that are like against it or what have you. Yeah, let's go back to this card as well, because we were also still interpreting the cards. Well, in a sense, this guy I'm talking about, he is like being vigilant outside of the wall of his understanding of religion, maybe. Hi, twin soul Vamashwini. Okay, I must say your name wrong. Excuse me for that. Well, welcome to the live. So I think that's maybe how you could see this card in the light of the question. But maybe also we could interpret it the other way around, that when this guy that I talked about put this last stick of reaching the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union that he hasn't done yet, into the wall, then he could retreat behind it and have the normal new boundaries of harmonious twin flame union in his life. And he might step back from that he didn't have the full teaching yet and heal himself into it. We need a lot of healing. They need a lot of healing. I one day had also needed a lot of healing, so. Because this guy actually on the card is pretty like traumatized by the fact that his teaching wasn't healed yet. It healed yet. It wasn't full yet. This one wand was not standing in the right place in the wall yet. He's pretty traumatized of that. So he needs to put it in and stand back inside the teaching of the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, and then he can learn what that is. Well, the guy that we're talking about that brought this some weeks ago to me, on my channel, he won't do that, I don't think, because he was, of course, very right. Um, but I thought it was so interesting also because I had been consulting his channel for a whole while because I wanted to sort out more about traditional Catholicism, which is a form of Christianity, because of my reasons, not because I somehow wanted to learn about spirituality that is still devoid of the twin flame integrated into it, but because when I had integrated everything into it, I nevertheless became interested how, looking back, traditional Catholicism still exists, and actually, if you understand it right, could point to the very fact that harmonious twin flame union is in the world, in the universe at this point, nevertheless. And I used actually his channel to sort that out more thoroughly at that time or before that time. So it was just a very interesting closing of a chapter for me and the beginning of asking this question, why people think twin flames are evil or of the devil. Well, maybe to go in short, they don't have the full teaching yet. They're a little bit behind of the leading edge of spirituality, right? And they can heal into that still. But they first would need to step away from their false beliefs that it is something dark and something bad and something from the devil. And then again, I think that is an interesting idea, what I talked about some minutes ago, that the twin flame journey is also here to give you a look into what it is not inside of you. It gives you a look into where you are hurt, where we are all this guy and what he did to me. It gives you a look into where we all are in that ego that does not believe in twin flames yet. And these pieces of our ego or our whole ego should be healed away. And that's when we are in harmonious twin flame union. And that's when we can be with our twin flame in real life, what I give my clients. So, in a sense, we're all a little bit this guy, that somehow, sometimes believe at least a little bit that twin flames are evil. How many people don't say, like, oh, my twin flame came into my life, but then they rejected me and they ran off. That's so bad of them. They're so dark. They're in the ego. But I'm not in the ego. And that is never possible. They reflect something that is in you as well, because in truth, you're one, because that is the whole point of being twin flames. When you would reject that, well, you can do that, but then we're not talking about twin flames. So let me see. Well, twin soul, I just butchered your name, I think. So let me not try that again. Please check my energy, ma'am. Well, that is not really the sort of thing that we're doing right now. How can divine feminine and the divine masculine come in union in 3D? Well, by going to the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. And right now, we're talking about people that even don't believe twin flames even exist. And that's always a good check for yourself to make in first instance, right? Do you even believe that humans are twin flames? And that's just a definition of what you are. You're a human being. So you are a twin flame. So that's always something to really maybe even meditate on. Like, do I really feel that, connect with that in my heart? And yes, so what is the real deal, the real teaching? That is, you need to do the twin flame inner work with the key tool consisting of 4 steps. Look on my channel for the key tool in a video. when you go to my channel page, you see the magnifying glass. There's a search bar, not the search bar for YouTube in general, but for my channel. And then you can put the word key, Key, inside of it and find a video in which I explain that 4-step tool that is the twin flame tool. And you do twin flame inner work with that. And you do that so much and so long until you are in the changed consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. And that is the place where you can start to be together with your twin flame in the physical, in the material world, in 3D, if you want to call it that, which you just did. And that is what I do with my clients behind the YouTube screen. And we do a lot more things that like help them in that direction, that aid that process from the side, support them from the back, everything. But that's the core of it. And it's actually not so difficult. That's really it. Okay, so now we were shuffling to go further on that question about why do people think twin flames are evil, the Egyptian deck, and I got 2 cards, so let's get them out. And I saw another comment. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And if you want to know how we could work together on that, then I refer you to a strategy session, and the link is below. So let's have a look at the cards that came out of the Egyptian deck, and that is the Isis card. Well, that is Divine Mother. In Christian terms, we know her as Mary. In ancient Egyptian terms, we know her as Isis, the mother of your soul, the goddess of compassion and magic. Listen to your inner voice and see the signs on your path. You will hear the voice of the soul real clear. Meditation idea: let Isis lead you to a state of wholeness. So I feel like we're getting to this reality of accepting that twin flames do exist. They are positive. They're positively what you are as a human being, and that is for everyone. It's the deeper layer of what you already are as a human being. And you go in that direction to heal that knowledge inside of you when you listen to the whispers of Divine Mother. And Divine Mother is the one that helps me with this live show for you, with this reading. So that is, yeah, kind of baked into what we're doing here, right? We're listening to the whispers of Divine Mother through the oracle cards that I pull. And the other card is Rebirth. It's a state of being in which a new life will commence in you on a higher level. Look at how the happenings in your life serve you or make you stronger. You will experience a big transformation. Visualization idea: you are beaming of light and you are having huge success. Rebirth. Well, the rebirth comes when you listen to the whispers of Divine Mother. So Divine Mother is actually like whispering to you all the time that twin flames do exist, that twin flames are of God, that twin flames are divine, and that everyone has that divine core and that divine background of the architecture of who they truly are and what they truly are. It just asks from you a different approach to reality, because often we think, well, the me, is my body. And when we say twin flames are your divine blueprint of everyone, of human beings, then we actually mean that the you is the soul, the spirit, and not the body. Not that we're going to deny that you're a body. You also have a body, but the core is placed differently. And that gives really another perspective of everything. And that is also important to install in yourself so that you can go the distance of that healing journey to your twin flame union lived on earth safely. Let's have a look in the Mary Magdalene Oracle. All right, this one sticks out. So here we go. A mythical reality. Okay. Well, I think this is sort of informing us again that we are talking about the spirit reality of you, where you are one with your twin flame. That's where harmonious twin flame union lives. And it is the mythical reality, you could say. But it is also the reality, and it is also the divine reality. Oh, yeah, I thought about let's do this one because let's go to the card deck that is a little bit about that mythical reality because it gives us very many mythological archetypes about, well, maybe about that thing, like who thinks that twin flames are evil or what we should know about it. There is, says this card, a huge change in the story, in the mythology. There's like this pivotal point in the mythology. Okay. The unexpected, like a change that you did not see coming, which is really what it is. When we talk about the mythological story of humanhood, let's say the non-physical story of human beings, that is the story of their soul. And the story of their soul means actually that you're part of something bigger, of the divine, and you are part of your union, and your union is part of the divine, and your union means there's a divine feminine and divine masculine. And well, that is an unexpected part of the story of who you are and what you are, for sure, for many people. So I think that is why very many people think that twin flames are evil or of the devil, because it's an unexpected turn in what they thought, in what they were told that you are. Like the whole idea that you're not your body is like such a shift already. It's like an unexpected turn that people don't see coming somehow. They may believe in, well, God is divine because I believe in Christianity or what have you, but they don't believe that you are divine or people are divine. And that's a grave mistake in any religion or thought system or life philosophy, because you are sacred. And yeah, that is something you should honor, to honor, yeah, you should honor your sacredness. That's the start. That's the start. So it's actually tragic. It's actually very tragic when someone is full of, I believe in God and I have this whole religion about it, and my whole life is exploring and talking about and expressing my belief in my God and my religion. But they actually missed the point of the unexpected turn that they truly are. You are not the body, you are the spirit, and in spirit you are part of a two-sided whole that is already one, your twin flame union. And it's tragic that people miss that point. Even when you take that into account, your whole religion somehow makes sense, starts to make sense. Whole Christianity starts to make sense when you understand that twin flames are part of life, of your life. Everything starts to make such deep sense. The whole tradition of traditional Catholicism starts to make so deep sense. It is about you. It is about the Christ Masters on earth right now. You know what people look for and long for, but they don't understand that we're there now. So people can have this whole world of beautiful ideas and like religion and give their whole life to it, but still miss the point about twin flames and that it actually is inside their religion. And that's tragic. That's tragic. So come to the twin flame teaching, come to the twin flame school in my school, where I will give you that teaching that will bring to life and light your traditional culture and religion, that will bring to life all thought systems that you thought you had. And now, when you integrate the twin flame into it by really doing the inner work on yourself and actually going there yourself, being with your twin flame now in the consciousness state that it is about, expressing that in the physical now. What happens from my teachings, what happens from what I give to people, then your life will be ablaze. Yeah, and your religion too, and no matter what you believe in. All right, let's go to a card from Divine Mother herself, from the Divine Mother deck. Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. I love that. Look at her heart in the middle there with this silver. Didn't we talk about a little bit earlier about listening to the whispers of Divine Mother, right? We talked about it when we saw Isis. Let's have a look in the booklet what she says to us, what she whispers to us in card number 2. What a beautiful twin flame number. I want to be close to you, my cherished child. So I dwell within your heart. From that sacred place, I speak to you daily. Can you feel my presence? I am the voice within that assures you all is well. I am the feeling in your heart that tells you it is all right to trust, no matter what happens, and no matter what appears to be. I am the knowing in your heart that every prayer you speak is heard and answered by me instantly. I am the joy and relief in your heart as you realize that your answered prayers are already unfolding in divine perfection. Listen for me and know peace within. Well, it feels like Divine Mother herself is present throughout this whole discussion of the topic, right? But let's once more go back to these people that don't hear her whisper, that think that twin flames are evil or of the devil, and look into the card deck of the vampires that are also very dark. So let's see. I just selected this card. Let's see what it says. Oh yeah, and we also do turnarounds because this deck also can do turnarounds. So, all right, this is a turned around card. Free will, sovereignty, independence, free spirit. So it did look as though it was reversed, right? So do these people think that don't believe in twin flames, that think it's evil? They don't believe in free will? I don't know. Free will is a confusing topic for very many people because what it really means is that you are free, genuinely free, to choose for who you truly are or not. And who you truly are is a twin flame because that's synonymous with being a human being. So you can choose for the truth, that is the sacred knowledge of twin flames under God. But you are free to do that. So you can also not do it. That's okay. And the truth is still patiently waiting for you without judgment in unconditional love until you choose it. And you're free to choose it. So it looks as though the card actually wants to say that the people that believe that twin flames are evil or of the devil, that's where they're standing. They said no to who they truly are. They said, I don't want it. I don't want to hear it to Divine Mother. But Divine Mother is still standing there. The truth of being a twin flame is still standing there waiting for you until you do choose to be who you truly are, which is a twin flame. Very interesting. And now I see the angels. So let's have a look which angel wants to speak about this topic. And it is Angel 61. Look, they have a light above their head, their forehead, as if something is appearing to them like, hey, I have an idea. Which is true. Twin flames are a sacred idea in the mind of God. Let's have a look in the booklet what it says. One of the 72 angels of God, and the name is pronounced as Vameve, and it means the immense God. And it stands for friendship, for learning, and intelligence. It stands for technology and neurotechnology. It stands for recognition of subconscious motivations, psychics, astronomy, astrology, in-depth understanding the mineral, plant, and animal kingdoms, consciousness itself, instruction and teaching, and discovering the unknown. Well, there it is. You need to discover the unknown. You need to discover who you truly are. And here is the sacred idea that you are a twin flame, and this angel is coming to establish that even more in yourself right now, that you are an idea in the mind of God. And the you in that saying of you are an idea in the mind of God, the you is the union. That's the unit that you are, where you are one with your twin flame. And if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then that is okay. Then that is the amount of healing that you still need to do in your consciousness to make that normal, grounded. And you will get there when you do the inner work, how I teach it. Well, I love that. Yeah. So when you think that twin flames are evil or of the devil, then you missed the truth. And this also makes me think about A Course in Miracles, the book that actually explains union consciousness and how to get there, which is a book and a method that is advised by the Christ Masters on Earth right now to, if you want to, use to get a grasp on, yeah, what that is, union consciousness. Because you want twin flame union consciousness. And that just clicks in there. And that is also telling you that you are an idea in the light of God. and that the you is the true you, where you're one. Let's have a look in the life purpose deck. Okay, two cards stick out when I shuffle, so let's get them. And let's have a look how this whole story goes further. Freedom. Well, isn't that interesting? We had freedom for free will, right? And now we have more freedom with another angel on the card. And we have artist. Well, don't artists enjoy freedom? They do. Did you know that the central tool, the key tool for twin flame inner work with the 4 steps, that is something that actually came into a whole set of methodology that I developed together with the Divine Mother since around 15 years ago. And I actually developed all the names and the architecture of these methods as creativity tools, but that actually means soul tools, because it is the soul that brings the creation of God in the world and then translates it to what you're living in your daily grounded reality. And that's very much a life artist kind of way of living. That then, via the metaphor of being an artist, how we use that word in our societies, gets the connection to this whole methodology. And I still like that. I had a lot with artists, with art, with creativity. I was an author. I studied art history. I worked in museums. And that just clicked in so beautifully that it was all a metaphor for God being the great artist that had created twin flames, which we are. And then we express what we truly are as twin flames, as though we are life artists. So you'll still find that when you come study with me, you'll still find that is so. And there's a freedom in that. And it's the same with this freedom of that we talked about before, the free will. There's a freedom to accept that God created you in a certain way, and then you express that instead of that you create something that is away from God, not connected into God. Although society might refer more to artists as doing the latter, but the former is what we do here. So there you go. And you could certainly say that someone that believes that twin flames are evil or of the devil, that they think more as the artist that is devoid of the anchoring into God. Because when you anchor into God, you understand that God created twin flames and that's what you are. So, of course, that is part of religion and being with God and prayer and meditating and spiritual development and everything and life and building a physical life, because that's what you are. But that's like another interpretation. And it is actually really, really well structured to talk about it like this, because the artist that is devoid of the connection with God and that thinks that they create themselves and they can choose that they're not twin flames, which again is not possible because you are what you are. God created you, but you do as if that doesn't exist. And I decide what I am created as because I design myself. And so I'm not a twin flame because I declare that, which is nonsense. But people might want to do that, and that is more as if you're an artist that is unconnected into God and you create something that is not directly related to the divine. And that actually means that you have now created the possibility of the dark, of the evil, of the devil, of the ego, which is it's the same, of your shadow, of I don't know what they call it, all these words, sin, of guilt, of shame, of fear, of well, all these things you have created. When you position yourself in life as an artist that creates themselves, I decide what I am, which might have also a weirdly subtle like other variety among itself. That might be someone that says, I decide who is my twin flame, which you can't. Your twin flame is your twin flame. They're not also not going to swap bodies or whatever. That's not possible. God created you together. And that's it. End of story. You can't decide that with your ego. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side note. So yeah, when you say I'm not connected into God, and I decide that I am not a twin flame, and I decided that I don't know that's that's of the devil and of evil. So now you introduced that dark part. You introduced it by saying things like that, by accepting that as a reality. You introduced the devil, you introduced the ego, you introduced your shadow, you introduced, well, etc. What did we say? Fear, shame, guilt, sin, all these things. And then people will complain about that. So that's really a little bit of the condition humaine, so as they say in French, the condition of being human. So maybe this just rings a bell for you, and you're like, oh yeah, that's so interesting. That's how it can happen sometimes. And then you also may see the way out of it. All right. So let's have a look into the cards of the spiritual truths. Let's have a look. Let's pick this one. I will translate it because it's in Dutch on the card. My mind is the helper of my soul. Or like what does it mean? My brain or my way of thinking about myself, my way of thinking is the helper of my soul. And not the other way around. It's not the ego is not the soul. The ego is not the twin flame. Well, that fitted very well with what we just talked about. And now the psychological card deck, I will translate it again. I will try. I do not take responsibilities of others upon me. I can't make someone else happy. How interesting. Well, I can't make these people happy that think that twin flames are evil. They did it upon themselves, you know. You can't even make your twin flame happy. You can make yourself happy as who you are in union, in the union consciousness. And that means that they will be happy. But it's not the you that is the ego that made them happy. Let's make them happy. Let's I don't know, let's like manipulate you to be happy. And you know, like that doesn't work. That's the same thing as like the artist that is not connected into God, but they're acting among themselves. They act in their own ego interest. And that's not the way of being for twin flames. So there you go. Let's have a look what card deck we can still get. I hope that, well, this one was like sticking to my fingers when I was grabbing this card deck. The feather was sticking to my fingers very fittingly when I was grabbing the Native American card deck. So please, Native Americans with feather and all, can you please give me the solution of this whole story that we've been talking about? So it looks like a sort of a woodpecker, number 8. Let's have a look if that was right, or if it is actually called differently in the booklet. And here we are. Woodpecker, opportunity. The woodpecker taps to find nourishing tidbits. As he sounds out his environment looking for treasures, he reminds us that opportunities are everywhere, even where there seems to be no hope, such as in dead trees. Woodpecker is steadfast in his determination. He is also loud from the taps from echo through an otherwise quiet wood to his loud and distinctive call. With Woodpecker, Spirit is speaking loudly to you, and you are encouraged to listen. Well, we had like the whisper of Divine Mother earlier, and now we have the loud way of Spirit speaking to you. Okay, solutions to some of your most challenging problems are available if you listen. The crystal emphasizes clarity and focus that is on top of the card. Don't give up after an initial failure. Listen for guidance, stay focused, and maintain your determination. Opportunity, perseverance, certainty, truth, failures that are really lessons, trying many times, finding treasures in unlikely places. These were all keywords about it. That's really cool. So, Spirit is knocking on your door just the way this woodpecker is knocking on the wood. Spirit is every moment knocking on your door to show you the way, about that you are a twin flame and how to make that come true. And from the Divine Abundance deck, we have acceptance. Now, please accept that you are a twin flame and that God wants to bring you there. We live in the time of making come true your true harmonious twin flame union. And you can do it because students of mine have gone before you. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. Accept that it is possible as step 1. And let's now have a look in the Angel Answers deck. Maybe we can close it off like this. This is the eventual outcome of that abundance. And how many times have I talked about that this is the secret flow that comes to you when you are in your true twin flame union, in the harmonious union consciousness state. The abundance that truly belongs to you will start to flow to you. That's not an if, it's a guarantee. That is your abundance. It happened to me. It started to happen to my students, and it will happen to you too, because it belongs to the birthright of your union unit. And I hope that helped. This whole understanding about why some people think that twin flames are evil or of the devil. Let's whisper to Divine Mother through her prayer. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum. Benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo et spes nostra salve. A te clamamus, exulos filii Eve, a te suspiramus, gementes et flentes in hac lacrimarum vale. Ea ergo advocata nostra, illos tuos misericordis oculos et nos converte. Et Iesum benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis post hoc exilium ostende. O clemens, o pia, o dulcis Virgo Maria, ora pro nobis sancta Dei genetrix udini efficiamur promissionibus Christi. Oremus. Omnipotens sempiterne Deus, qui gloriosae Virginis Matris Mariae corpus et animam, udinium Filii Tui habitaculum effici mirere tu, Spiritus Sancto cooperante preparasti da cuius commemoratione letamur, eus pia intercessione ab instantibus malis et ab morte perpetua liberemur. Per eiundem Christum Dominum nostrum. Amen. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, to the Patreon community, and or to the Facebook community called Your Abundance. Start doing the correct inner work and ask the support you deserve through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results I am speaking of. You can come to your strategy session at this time to speak together on your options. creativeuniverse.earth/strategy session, or the link below or in the pinned comment. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything, because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense. And to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we're on Earth, and that necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on this behind the scenes experience on patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe, or the link below. Normally, the Divine Love reading for Twin Flames that is connected to being in Facebook community Your Abundance goes for €255. But this month, when you are a second tier Patreon member, you pay only €211. How to obtain this favorite reading that every self-respecting Twin Flame lover needs on their journey? Ask for the link with more info about the reading, and then ask me for your personal pay link. You can also come, as I said, to the Facebook group Your Abundance. The Patreon and the Facebook are both beautiful, small start opportunities for you that are available for you for a very low threshold. They're full of videos, articles, downloads that help you already so much in the right direction to your true harmonious twin flame union consciousness and life with your twin flame made come true on Earth. I am Petra, in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough, after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You found what you were looking for. Om Amen.